Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Jules.
How are you today?
I'm doing great
Are
today.
you ready for some podcast nomad work?
Ready? That's how you have to be if you're a podcast nomad.
We're scrappy, man.
Ready on the fly.
We're scrappy, and it's a good thing. It's really a
Yeah,
good thing.
it is a
Hey,
good thing.
before we get started, I know Michelle wanted to share a few thoughts with our audience.
I just wanted to thank everybody for listening, and I guess just sent out a gentle reminder as well.
Mm-hmm.
Continue the good work of subscribing, following, and sharing on all the socials, and especially on YouTube. Things are really starting to grow there. We're super excited about it. We have great things planned for 2025. So
Mm-hmm.
just keep up the good work, y'all.
Yeah, that was what we were just doing was our little planning sesh that we had and all kinds of good stuff coming. So again, as she said, thank you so much for listening and for being a part of our little community that we're creating. We are super excited about it and we're having a lot of fun with it. And it's all because of you guys, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So today we are going to get into a topic that we have discussed on many occasions, but have not actually put it on paper until today. We're going to actually record. And that topic is, Michelle.
Um, is it possible for male and female relationships to continue when you are in a relationship? Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense to
Or
me.
I should say male and female friendships,
Mm-hmm.
which are relationships.
Right.
Can you have those if you are in a relationship
Mm-hmm.
and have a partner?
So this started out with two separate questions, really. One of them was when we were discussing it, can men and women be friends? And my absolute answer to that was yes, 100% they
100%.
can. But I know we had inquired with some other people as we were kind of preparing for this episode, and you had a very different response from one of your kids, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I asked that question, I was like, so do you think it's okay to continue a friendship? I'm just doing it how I posed it
Right.
to him. Is it okay to have a friendship with somebody that you've been in a relationship with in the past? Is it okay to continue that friendship if you are now in a relationship with somebody else?
Okay.
Did not even hesitate. He said, nope.
Nope.
I mean, I was kind of expecting that, but at the same time, I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. I
I
get
know,
it.
I get it too. I think so that was where the big bone of contention was because, not bone of contention, but we had a difference of opinion on those things. And I think I have a lot of male friendships or men that are people that I am friends with, I should say, through the course of my life. Many that are, well, I say many, it sounds like there's a lot. There's a little bit of exaggeration, but there's a core group of guys, mostly from high school, couple from high school that they're like my brothers.
Yeah.
And it's not like I see them every day. It's not like I talk to them every day. We're on social media back and forth, all kinds of banter and fun stuff. I've never had a romantic relationship with either one of them. There's never been any inkling of that. It would be hard for me to say that I wouldn't be able to be friends, maintain a friendship with them because a person I was in a relationship with said I couldn't or didn't want me to. Because that to me speaks more in that scenario to the person that's in the relationship having some insecurities, maybe from things that have happened in the past, maybe from just, a lack of trust in general for people because of experiences that have taken place, what have you. I don't know. But I think I would have a really hard time with that because it would be basically saying that you're kind of cut off from it's kind of isolating you.
Mm-hmm.
What if, half of your friends are guys because you're an engineer and that's only people that you've been around your whole life. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Or you have a lot of brothers and so you've been around guys that have been a part of your family or what have you. Are you not allowed to be friends with them anymore? That's where I would struggle.
Yeah. Well, and I think obviously these scenarios are situational
Right.
and they can be. So there's a lot of factors that go into that. I think though, if we stick to what you were saying, depending on if this person had some kind of relationship trauma from the past,
Sure. Yeah.
I think it would take some flexibility there to
Mm-hmm.
come to some kind of understanding to where, being sympathetic with that situation, whatever they experienced, and building the trust to a point where they know that it's going to be different with you.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Completely.
And that might take some time.
Yeah. It could take some time. So now let's flip that over to, the people that you have in your life. Have you been in a romantic relationship with, or been in a sexual relationship with, a sexual situationship even with, and you don't have that relationship with them anymore, but you're still friends, not like
Right.
in depth, but still friends. So would those people be people that you would not feel comfortable being around or talking to or what have you if you were in a relationship?
I think it would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would be.
This is what we talked about because
Well, and it's different when you've been married and divorced. Like if there's like again, the
Mhm.
situational, there's all these dependent factors. Because I'm just thinking, obviously, if you're with somebody now that is divorced, you have children. Of course, there's going to be that relationship that continues and carries on
Right.
for the rest of life.
Right.
Right.
That's different.
That's a given, and that's
Yeah.
different. But if you, yeah, I don't know that for me, it's like, what's the point?
Well, that's a great question. And I think it just depends. It depends on
Yeah.
what that relationship was like. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's very, like I said, a surfacey type of relationship, maybe it's not that big of a deal,
Hmm.
because it's not someone who is going to be, you're going to miss them so much in your life, right?
Right.
That it's, or the relationship that you have is way more important to you than keeping a friendship that is not like a really deep friendship.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I think that there's a lot of value to that because
Sure.
it kind of, as we had been discussing when we were preparing for this, some of that really does come down to uh, maintaining a level of respect for your partner.
Hmm.
That even though they might not say anything, even though they may be very confident people, that's still something that maybe in the back of their mind, they might be like, I don't know. I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. Or I don't know if it just, it puts you in a kind of little bit of a precarious place,
Yeah.
especially if there had been feelings or there is attraction or feelings that have not been resolved or put to bed. Maybe
Right.
that wasn't the best
Depends.
resolved.
No play
Uh,
on words
you
there.
know,
Yeah.
and there's no clarity on a friend zone,
Hmm.
or anything like that. I think that that's a different thing. I think the respect for your person is more important. Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
100%.
But then at the same time, I'm like, I have friends in my life like that, and
Hmm.
there's nobody around me right now that's like that I have to take into consideration. But if I did, it's like I'd be, I guess I can't be friends with that person anymore. I mean, I would just automatically probably eliminate some of those friendships just because I wouldn't want to be disrespectful to the person that I was trying to focus my energy and attention on.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like if you are stepping into a relationship, that is where all your time and energy are going.
Right.
So if there's texting happening, with past relationship
Mm-hmm.
people, um, one, it's why. Here we
Well,
go
and
with
is
the
it
depend.
leaving the door open? Like if
That's
there's still
yeah.
feelings from that person, like maybe you ended things with them.
Mhm. I know you were saying you would probably not be friends because you're putting, obviously, if you're going into a relationship, you're going to have that time and energy going into this relationship with this person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would have a hard time as you go on? Because I know some of these people that
Yeah.
you do, and they are like cool, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's
Type
like
friendship.
nothing there. Situationship, why? I wasn't like the person I'm thinking wasn't in a relationship with him. Just,
Right.
kind of a situationship sort of a thing.
Uh-huh.
And, there is nothing going on there, but we banter, we have fun, we talk back and forth. You know, I learn all kinds of new things. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Would someone understand that relationship or that friendship? Would I bring him around? I would totally bring him around someone I was dating. I wouldn't
Hmm.
even feel uncomfortable about that. But if my person would,
Yeah.
then yeah, that would be a problem.
So let me ask you this. Would your person know about the situationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't keep that a secret.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's kind of, again, kind of, it's lying by omission in some ways. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're going to invest the energy to bring someone around who you used to
Mm-hmm.
be in a relationship that's a friend of yours now,
Right.
and that goes back to, can you be friends with people that you were in relationships with before?
Right.
And
And
so if it's platonic, I think if you've got, like, there's a scenario I'm thinking of in my head with someone who I was 100% obsessed with when I was younger. And I have no desire really to be in a relationship now. I don't want that for me now.
mm-hmm.
I don't I think that he might want more than that, not maybe now, but maybe down the road. And I don't want to leave the impression that that is that I don't want to lead him on, I guess, or put myself in a position where I'm speaking out both sides of my mouth about it. And I
Right.
found in conversation with talking to this one person that I spend time with on occasion, it was more like, you gotta shut that shit down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, because the impression from a man, getting a man's perspective, was you need to be more clear with your intention or what
Got
your
it.
lack of intention is.
Got
It
it.
was a good learning for me, actually, because
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling like maybe I'm dancing around this topic too much, but maybe I just needed to be more direct about it because I was more worried about, you know, creating problems, I guess.
So communication, obviously,
Yeah.
is a big one
Yeah.
if you're going to maintain a friendship.
Right.
Right.
That's very, very important, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it goes back to, I think, your relationship with your person,
Yeah.
because you may be in a relationship with a really outgoing person who has a lot of friends that are women, friends that are men. I mean, I really don't care. I don't think it would bother me. I mean, I've been in relationships with people that had women that were friends, but they hadn't ever been with them like in a romantic way.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they were friends and they were single women, whatever. I just, I don't know why. I was just kind of like, you got to be in a place where you maybe aren't second guessing things or feeling
I was
so
going to
insecure
say,
about it.
just like, don't even like being in a place where you're not even questioning things.
Right. Well, a
Yeah.
lot of that has to do with just getting to know those people. If those people are in your person's life, I want to know who those people are,
Right.
because you're probably going to be spending time with them. Now, if those people are like, why are you bringing sand to the beach? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's a different story. And actually, I can think of this one scenario where there was a big trip, it's kind of a trip being planned with a bunch of college friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I was obviously just on the periphery of some of these. I was part of the conversation, but I wasn't really involved in the conversation, and had gotten up to run to the bathroom and, came back to the table, everything, blah, 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 blah. Well, the person I was with told me that the girl who was at the table, married, had twins, was not in a romantic relationship whatsoever with this guy, had never been, had always been friends, had told him, and he was pissed. He was like, she said, why are you bringing sand to the beach? And I'm kind of like, huh? And basically that was saying, why are you bringing a girl with you when there's all these other girls there, even though you're in a committed relationship? So that to me was the hugest red flag about spending
Right.
time around this person, because she certainly wasn't encouraging him to be in a relationship,
Right.
and would probably put him in circumstances or encourage circumstances where, you know, what she don't know won't hurt her, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I know.
Wow.
I know. So, needless to say, the sand did not go to the beach. I did not go to the beach.
I've never heard that.
You haven't?
No, I've
Oh,
never heard
yeah.
that. So I was just like, wow. Okay. So, I mean, it's a good scenario.
Yeah,
I,
it's good. But I mean, I did not go. But at the
mm-hmm.
same time, I was just like, you know what? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm not going to try to make it be something different. I'm not going to step up and go, no, I want to go because I'm
Yeah,
worried about not having this, whatever. I'm not going to do that. If this stuff's going to happen, it's going to happen whether I'm there or not. Right.
that's right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you think men and women can be friends, like without there being anything, there's kind of a stereotype, you know, out there that men and women can't be friends
Yeah.
unless, without something sexual happening.
Right.
Do you think there's any truth to that?
No. I mean, I have
Yeah.
friendships with people that I have no inkling about in that.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I was in a relationship with someone who said, I don't want you to be friends with them anymore, I would really have to rethink that. because there's nothing wrong
What
with
if there's physical attraction there?
that's a different story. I think that's a little different. If there's no physical attraction or anything on your end, or moreover, they're probably would be more worried about physical attraction on the other end, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the person that you're friends with. But if it's this platonic thing that there's none of that stuff going
Yeah.
on, I'm just like, bring them. You guys, if you're going bowling, you're going to play pool,
Right.
you're going out to, watch a band, whatever, just bring
Yeah.
them. It's
Yeah.
like, why can't they be friends? They're all
Have
a
a
part
good
of your life.
time.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I look at it. So,
Right.
um, so then that's the question. Do you think that uh you could maintain a friendship with somebody who you had been in a previous relationship with if you were in a relationship?
I could maintain a friendship with somebody like that. Sure.
Would you feel comfortable doing that if you were in a relationship?
Um, probably not.
Okay. So would you
I
feel like you're
wouldn't.
having to give up
Well,
something?
it's just like no, but like I, so many dependent factors. But I'm just thinking of, some of my past relationships that I
Mhm.
have been in, and I'm not friends with any of them. So I guess that's the answer right there. It's just
Yeah.
like, but that's just me. I think that's just me.
Right. Well, it's not like I'm friends with,
Well, no, and
yeah,
but when you think about too, I lived in Spokane. I didn't grow up here.
right.
I've lived in this area being married most of the,
Yeah,
for 26 years. I was married with kids living over here.
right.
So it's not like I had a bunch of, social things from my younger days and people that I'd be hanging out with or continuing keeping in touch with, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Well, I think someone who's more introverted and as well, I'm not saying you're introverted, but I'm just thinking about introverted people. They just don't have as many people in their life in their acquaintance circle.
Right.
Their core circle is pretty tight probably.
Yeah.
But their acquaintance circle is smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas there's people that are like, I'm in a really social job. It's like I'm around a lot of people. I'm around a lot of men, a lot of women. I don't really look at it. I don't look at it any different than
Mm-hmm.
I would anything else.
Yeah.
We go to happy hour, we do this, we
You
do that, but
kind of,
there's
as
no
a single
sexual
person though,
attraction.
you kind of have to be aware of that because
Sure.
not everybody is too cool when the single woman is
Hmm.
hanging out and are social and friendly. Like you and I are both that way.
Actually, that's a really good point.
And
That's a really
so,
good point.
I think it's important to be cognizant of that because
Hmm.
there's other women that might not be comfortable
Right.
with, even though it's just a friendship,
Hmm.
a working relationship, that kind of a thing. There are other women that might not be okay with how you're able to do that. It
Right.
might intimidate them
It could.
in
So
some ways.
my reality TV kind of obsession, right?
Oh,
Well,
guilty pleasure.
it's a little bit of my guilty pleasure, and I don't know have any idea really why. This is a pandemic thing that started, and now I'm just like I just kind of love this stuff. But it's like really when I think about what I'm watching,
Yeah.
it's like why am I doing that? But anyway, I digress. There is this one scenario, and these are true stories. These are
Uh-huh.
this one particular scenario is this kid from when I say kid, he's 30, I think, from the Chicago area, and he meets this girl from Poland. She's with some people in Chicago visiting, and then they meet at a party or something, and then she leaves to go back to Poland. Well, they stay in touch, and like 8, 9 months go by or whatever, and he flies out there, and she thinks he's going to propose, right? Well,
So they long distanced it
this whole
for,
long distance thing is
okay.
going back and forth. Well, he looked at the long distance thing a little bit different than she did because he slept with somebody during the time frame that they were in the very beginning of the long
Uh-huh.
distance thing, but there wasn't this committed thing. She didn't look
Okay.
at it that way at all. But
Right.
she's also younger and very innocent, is kind of the way that and there was obviously not a discussion that went on around this,
Mm-hmm.
but he has a good circle of friends. He's much more outgoing, social. You can just tell he likes to party. He's around, but not in a bad. I don't have this impression that he's like a hoe. I think he's just just kind of a fun person, right?
Yeah.
And in this group of friends, there is a woman that is in this group that he dated like 7 years ago. So they're all core group of friends, I think, from college or something like that. Platonic is all get out now. She's in another relationship, blah, 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 blah. Well, he didn't want to tell his girlfriend in Poland about this woman that he had had a relationship or had slept with her because he knew how she was going to respond. And he didn't even really think that it was necessary because it was so long ago and they don't even, I mean, it's like they're all hanging out and didn't really put a lot of thought into it, right? And it comes up in the course of conversation after this whole scenario has come up about how he didn't realize that he was in a relationship, like committed at the very beginning.
Yeah.
She forgave that. And now this comes out. And so she thinks he's lying about it. And I'm like, that poor guy, he cannot even catch a break. He didn't say anything because in his mind, it's not relevant. Number two, she will not be okay with it and will tell him he cannot have her as a friend. And he just didn't think it was that important. And it came up, and so it looks like he's being untruthful or he's lying to her. I don't think he was lying.
How did she find out?
It was something, I don't remember exactly how she found out.
That's me asking the question.
I know, right? I don't remember.
And do you remember if the girl and her, did you say she is married now?
I think she's married now.
Or
in a relationship or something,
Do you know if her husband or boyfriend cared?
No, they're all friends. Everybody's friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of it is that it's, again, we're talking a little bit of cultural difference too, I think, because, he's older and the college days, an American, he just looks at things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
She's much more conservative in probably how she's been raised, what she's looked at, how many people she's even dated, all that kind of stuff. Right. And so it's much kind of reminds me of, the girls that want to get married right out of high school sort of thing.
Would it ever be okay for him to go out to lunch with her, just the two of them? If they let's say they run into each other, I'm just like going hypothetical now based off this scenario. So let's say they run into each other at the mall. They're both at the mall shopping. Oh, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 I'm just on my lunch hour. Hey, do you want to go over? Do you want to catch a bite to eat? Would that be okay?
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a big deal at all.
Okay.
So I think part of the problem with this was that she did not have any context, really. She'd never met the person.
What if he texted her ahead of time to have lunch?
Well, I don't know. I guess that the whole thing, I mean, that's getting kind of, it's more kind of like.
See, that's how people can be.
But maybe they're going to talk about, maybe he's going to ask her to help him shop for a ring for the girl. Who knows, right? But anyway, to just kind of get to the end of the story, she was super insecure about it. Well, and a lot of that has to do with her trust factor. And again, I think in her mind, what is appropriate, not appropriate, how she was raised, all those kind of things. And in his mind, it was a totally different thing. And he's thinking like a guy. I mean, guys think like that a lot. Women we pay much more closer attention to some of those things. She came to the US, met the people in person, and now everything's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she realized that, this genuinely is a group of people. All she had to go on was the fact that he hadn't been truthful before, kind of lied by omission on this.
Yeah.
And so he's not being trustworthy.
Yeah.
Legitimate concern. But what she was saying was, if I see her, I'm going to scratch her eyes out.
Oh,
and I'm
my goodness.
Oh, damn. It's like
drama of the reality TV.
Reality. They probably had her do that. Yeah. I'm just like, that's a little extreme, Just don't go out with him. He's 8,000 miles away. It's like, you can ghost him and it's really going to work.
Right.
So anyway, I don't know why that's just an example. I think when I see things like that, I'm like, oh, come on, people. There's so many other things that are important to really invest your anger in if you really want to.
For sure.
So anyway, that's the end of that. So what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to transition.
Oh, go for it.
To the ring my bell. Oh, ring my bell. Okay, guys, we have the ring the bell episode finisher. At the gym, they say the last cardio finisher, and I'm like, they're gonna
the finisher. I was thinking of something else.
Oh.
Anyways, what is it?
Okay, so here's the ring the bell question, Michelle.
Okay.
Night sex or day sex? Which is better?
Oh, night or day? Mm-hmm. Day all the way.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, isn't that so funny? I'm a total night girl.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I can do day or night and day. Like,
At the same time.
uh,
Oh,
I'm just saying
on
all
the
day,
same
all
day.
night, all day, all night.
Yeah.
Night or day. But I'm more of
Morning
a
person.
morning person.
I mean, it does kind of start your day off right,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm more of a night person myself.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, now everybody knows Michelle likes to have morning sex. Julie likes night sex. Okay. We're good.
I like to have sex anytime. Let's just
Yeah.
be clear.
Yeah. And
But I am a
anywhere,
morning girl.
but we're not going to go. We're going to go. That's another ring the bell for another day.
So
Anyway.
I just think I just want to go back to what we were talking about today. Relationships, friendship relationships outside of a dating relationship.
Right.
A lot of dependent factors. I'm just trying to think of what I get. So some things that I kind of got from this. There's situational things,
Mhm.
that go into it. I think respect of the partner has a lot
Mhm.
to do with it, right?
Agree. Mhm.
And if there's married people that are involved, like I think doing things as couples is kind of important. It shouldn't I don't
Unless one
think should
couple's
be.
a swinger couple and the
Well,
other couple
there's that,
isn't.
and that's a whole other
That's a whole
episode.
other episode we have coming down the road, hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but like you, when you have many friends, yeah, I mean, there's going to be friends of the opposite sex.
Mhm.
People, we are like 60 years old, are we?
You're not yet.
Almost.
Yeah.
But we're on in years. So we've had a lot of real people that are really big parts of our life.
Yeah.
And it's important to keep those people as part of your
Mhm.
life. So the more you communicate and have trust in your relationship, I think it's fine.
I absolutely
Big
100% agree.
picture.
I think that's the key to most
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
Building any kind of foundation is having that trust, which relates to communication. Coming from the blonde and the brunette, that's our 2 cents.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you again, everybody,
Mm-hmm.
for tuning in and spending some time with us. Drop your comments below. Let us know what you think. We are, as Michelle said, on the socials. We'd love to hear your follows, likes, and subscribes. We
Do
don't really
it.
hear them, but we like to see them.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. All right,
All
everybody.
right. Peace out, people.
See you next